Peace. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Wholeness. That's all I'm saying to you. So you see the title of the video, Unity and Your Story. Your story, most importantly. Don't let people ever trick you into thinking that research isn't cool, or knowing yourself or your ancestry is, it makes you a Hotep or conspiracy theorist or whatever the hell. So again, I'm not here to say, all quote unquote Black people must unite. What I am here to say is find your tribe and vibe. Black and white are social constructs, and there are, again, there are social constructs meant to divide you, meant to divide and control us. And anyone who says otherwise is essentially just telling you to ignore history, beyond, I don't know what, the Civil War area. I feel like there's a really, weird, there's a really, debilitating, destructive psychology that's at play there. And it's a lot of, I'll say this, a lot of very intelligent people who are out here pushing that B1 Black first narrative. I'll go ahead and say their names because one of the brothers, I'm going to go ahead and show you an excerpt from one of his videos. Yeah, so you have like Dwan B, who I'm going to go ahead and show you a clip of one of his videos, which is what got me, I just essentially is what kind of got me, I used to watch his videos. But you have him, Professor Black Truth, Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, Black Authority. These are the it's the Mount Rushmore of the Black first, community. And these brothers, all very highly intelligent, they all espouse themselves, portray themselves to be very big, to be historians. But it's a really big contradiction. It's a lot of, it's a term that I wrote down, situational discernment that goes into play, which to me, that's another form, that's a manifestation of cognitive dissonance. But there's a lot of, again, situational discernment that they display when relaying, to their followers or subscribers what they call history or, factual information. And it just doesn't sit well with me that, like anyone who seeks to uncover their roots and, research history beyond, the 1900s or the 1860s, they get labeled as a Hotep, which is a slur. So without talking too much, I want to go ahead and we're going to get right to the etymology of Black and white. Just like I said, they're social constructs. They mean the same thing. And, I'm just going to go ahead and read. So again, you see shalom. So anyone who says shalom or shalom to you or assalamu alaikum, I'm just curious, does that make them a Hotep, or are they wishing you wholeness? Are they, hoping that you are in good health, that, you are prosperous, welfare, good, I want to try to get through this video as quickly as possible. And I want to do it in as least of an incendiary way as possible. I don't want to make this seem like I'm, reaching for clout or trying to beef, trying to stir up trouble, trying to be messy. I just want to show everyone facts. I just want to show everybody factual information. And then I'll let y'all decide, whether or not y'all are comfortable just going ahead and labeling people Hoteps, or just even using that word. Or can we just go ahead and stop being okay with attaching slurs to our people, but then, tap dancing and walking on eggshells when it comes to every other community, the Jewish community, the LGBTQ community, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, without me talking too much, I just want to go ahead and I'm just gonna read. Just bear with me, I'm gonna read for a little bit. So we got shalom. Let's go ahead and see what black means. Black and white are social constructs. They mean nothing to do with skin tone. They mean the same thing. What do you mean black and white mean the same thing? Black and white mean the same thing. Allow me to show you. Okay, so again, we're in etymology, etymologyonline.com. I'm not going to read the entire definition because it's right on your screen. But again, this is giving you the countries of origin, and it traces the history of the word back to its root. Please, it's a reason I'm showing this to you. I want you to go back and do this exercise yourself, but this is the important. This is why you have a Masonic checkerboard in every single rap video, because they're, presenting to you duality, and we fall for it every time. And really, again, like I said, black and white mean the same thing. To burn, to gleam, shine, flash. Right. So let's start. I'll start here. I'll start from the top. I won't be lazy. Absolutely dark, absorbing all light, of the color of soot or coal. Right. So you're thinking dark, right? Okay. Burned, dark, black ink. To burn, okay, but then when you get right here to the root, Proto-Indo-European root word, to burn, to gleam, to shine, flash, to burn, to scorch, to glow, okay, to blaze. The same root produced Middle English Blake, pale, from Old English black or bleak, maybe. Bright, shining, glittering, pale. The connected notions being perhaps fire, bright, and burned, dark, or perhaps absence of color. But you see where I'm going with this. But okay, so what do you mean black and white mean the same thing? What are you talking about, Sean? All right, hang on. Bright, radiant, clear, fear. Clear, fair. Oh, excuse me. What you see right here? Light, to shine. To shine. To shine. So, if you can read, again, like I refuse to let people call me a Hotep because I know how to read. That's all I'm saying. And we're going to get a few more definitions for you because, again, so Hotep is an archetype. A conspiracy is, it's like, I feel like when you call someone a Hotep is like you call someone it's a word for like a black conspiracy theorist almost, So it's an archetype. It's a stereotype. It's a slur. Real quick, before we move on to those words, when I use the word white, okay, and again, this isn't my definition. This is their definition. Their etymology. Old English, living creature, person, something, anything. It's right on your screen. From Proto-Germanic, thing, demon, little child, thing, creature, demon, spirit of the earth, thing, creature, a thing. Okay, so, place of division. That's another interesting, definition. But yeah, so it's right in your face. I don't need to talk too much. So when I say white, this is what I'm referring to. Again, everyone, it's like Andre 3000 said, it's every nigga with dreads for the cause. everything goes for the fall. It's pretty similar. Every, one that's, quote unquote black, ain't, the most righteous nigga ever in the world. And everyone that's so-called white is not, the worst person in the world. It's a division tactic. It's a reason. And without, again, I'm really trying to make this video just as short as possible. I just want to, again, I want to spare y'all my opinion. I prefer to show y'all stuff. But again, that would make this video too long if we were to like sit here and go through the history. But again, there's a few more things I want to show you. Let's go to archetype 8. So Hotep, is an archetype. Model, first form, original pattern from which copies are made. Okay. In Greek, archetype on, pattern, model, figure on a seal, first molded, beginning, origin, first place, model, type, blow. Okay. Pervasive idea or image from the collective unconsciousness. Okay. That's Young's definition. So when you use the word Hotep, that means that you have a stereotype, an archetype of a certain type of Negro, Naga in your mind, certain type of black person who is giving you his. Now, they may or may not, again, have a concept of real history, but at the end of the day, if they studied history beyond a certain year, does that automatically qualify the person? I'm asking a question. Stereotype, method of printing a plate. Printed by means of solid plate of type. The meaning was extended to the stereotype plate. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The plate say, okay, I'll go ahead and read it. The meaning was extended, this is important. The meaning was extended to the plate itself by 1817. The plate saves time and effort as it duplicates in a single piece of type metal. The face of the page types posed by hand for printing. Hence, the figurative meaning, image perpetuated without change, such as a visual trope or often repeated expression. Okay. Trope, cliche, stereotype, archetype, all fit into this. They all work. Let's go get slur real quick. Deliberate, slight, disparaging from dialectical slur, thinner, fluid mud. Seems to be Germanic words having to do with muddy sloppiness. Middle Dutch, to trail in mud. Also compare East Frisian slurring, to go about carelessly. Norwegian slur, to be careless. Or Middle Dutch, slur, sluttish woman. That's interesting. The sense of a mark, a stain, smear is from the 1660s in English. Okay. So as we can see, Hotep seems to be, again, it fits all of this criteria, right? It's a trope, it's a slur, it's a cliche, it's an archetype, it's a stereotype. I'm going somewhere with all this. Okay. So if you call yourself black, like you're cool, right? You're considered cool, but black and white mean the same thing, as I just showed you. And if you say, hey, well, prior to a certain year, we were, known as this or that, whatever you want to call yourself, whether you want to identify yourself as a Moor, as an Israelite, whether you want to identify yourself with your indigenous tribe, that's your business. Everyone has a right, to self-determination. But I feel like I got a few questions, and it's not just him. We're gonna watch Mr. FD Signifier, one of his videos, where he was, it's like a long 3 hour something video. He's breaking down Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, and like, again, situational discernment it's a long video in which you discuss all the nuances of the battle and these rappers' careers and upbringings, just to at a certain at the I think it's at the 3 hour mark, you give us two hours and 59 minutes worth of analysis, and then at the 3 hour mark you blow it, and then you put your foot in your mouth and you call one of the greatest rappers of our generation, you call him a Hotep. Why are we comfortable doing this to each other is the question that I have. But so like there's more like receipts that I had as far as like just breaking down black and white are social constructs, et cetera, et cetera. But again, I don't want to make this video too long. And like, for example, this guy has a whole segment, or I guess I don't know if it's a segment or whatever, called Hotep-ish. So like, again, I'm just curious about the psychology there. Like, are you kind of like using the word Hotep to suggest that you know about history, but are you saying it's Hotep-ish because you're not really a Hotep? So it's a weird, again, situational discernment. I'm just curious what he's doing with that. And then real quick, before I even go here, I want to show you the book because I got another one of my questions is Kyrie Irving a Hotep? Share this tab instead. Here's the book that Kyrie Irving from what was it? Yeah. It was From Hebrews to Negroes. It's the book that Kyrie Irving tweeted the link to. Okay. Wake Up Black America. Hang on. And yeah, it's a documentary. I think it's a part 2. I'm just curious because he has another video. This guy Dewan B has another video where I feel like he's defending Kyrie Irving, rightfully so. Okay, so this is the documentary. So there's a book and a documentary. Let me go back. But my question, I mean, y'all see where I'm going with this, is Kyrie Irving a Hotep? It's a simple question. Situational discernment. Like I just is it because of the fact that Kyrie Irving is popular that he doesn't get labeled a Hotep? I mean, with FD Signifier, I can't accuse him so much of that. He just, again, both these brothers got degrees. They'll put their degrees on camera, and it's like I'm just really curious, like how. I said it in my previous videos, how these guys go from smart to dumb. You can't be smart and dumb at the same time, but I think a more intelligent way to say that, a less disparaging way to say that, because I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but it's just like, I'm just curious. It's just really, if I'm going to just speak my mind a little bit, it just seems like, okay, well, Kyrie Irving is popular, so we're not going to slander him. And then as far as like with FD Signifier's case, like, I think I don't think it's definitely for a reason that he buried that 3 hours into his video. I don't think that was unintentional. Like, it's a reason he buried that so-called analysis 3 hours into his video. The average person's attention span isn't that long. Nobody's going to sit there and watch 3 hours. So he was probably banking on nobody really like call him out for this. As are a lot of these guys. They're banking on, Dewan B has what, 26K followers. So like he's not really, he's built up enough of a following to where as though he's not really worried about somebody like calling him out on his hypocrisy. But I'm just, all right, we're just gonna let him speak. And like I said, I got a few questions for him, a few questions for FD Signifier, and I'm gonna shut up and I'll let y'all, be the judge.
But let me tell you something real deep. When you with your woman, man, you give your woman and you treat her nice and give her a hug. Y'all ain't never heard nothing that deep before, nigga. See, no, and what it is, we don't even need reparations. All we need is for black people to get some land, and we gonna get some land in the middle of Boise, Idaho, and we gonna go.
Okay, so real quick, and it's the reason. Like I said, I'm only going to play like 3 minutes of this guy talking, because the more he talks, the more I'm going to interject, and the more I can sit here and pick apart, and that's going to make my video longer, and less people are going to watch it. But at the end of the day, I'm not giving you my opinion, I guess. So like my real quick, the reason why I paused it. So two things I want to before we let this 3-minute clip that I'm going to show. First of all, fair use. I know I got to put that because it's going to be the first thing they go to for fair use. I put the copyright thing up there, whatever. Anyway, so let me start by saying this. I agree. So he's creating an archetype. He's going to go into creating an archetype, a stereotype. What I will say is this. I want to lead with this. I agree with the fact that in every room, every space, you're going to have someone who wants to talk more than they want to listen. You're going to have someone who has a completely unchecked, unbalanced ego, and that person wants to be the smartest person in the room. They want to be the loudest person in the room, the funniest person in the room, the toughest person in the room. That person 100% exists in every space, But the thing is, it's like it becomes disrespectful when you associate that only to a group of people. As you're going to see, he has an angry black women stereotype built into this impression that he's making too. So that's the first point that I want to make, is that I agree with, the fact that this person is an archetype. This is a person, but don't associate it with anyone who bothers to research their history prior to the Civil War. That is where you come off as weird, my nigga. That's where you come off as like, well, what are we doing here? It's a weird level, weird psychology, really, blatant case of situational discernment. Second point real quick that I wanted to make is, again, so like, obviously black and white are social constructs. You can't point to any nation on the map and find the word black, nor you're going to be able to find white. Why? Because they're social constructs. So what is your nationality? That is what, when you again go into, so like I actually went to a Moorish Science Temple. I actually studied, with them, and their documents, and their cherry picked form of history that they like to present to you, which is with another point that I go into. But like, so like, what they will one of their number one like maxims, like something that they claim to you, nationality. Everyone has a right to so like, what's your nationality? If you go into a courtroom and say, hey, I demand reparations on behalf of all black people, the first thing that would need to be established is, what is a black person? What nation do you represent? Foundational Black America, Tyreek Nasheed, is not a nation. Black is not a nation. So what were you before you called yourself black, or before you were given that name by your oppressor? That's the only question. That's, what I'm saying. So I might pull up that Malcolm X clip too. But yeah, it's like, I got that pinned to my IG page. I just, so if you go into a courtroom and you say, hey, I mean, right, you can have the discussion. This is the straw man argument that you guys always create, right? When you call people Hoteps, but it's like, this is a simple question. If you go into a court and the judge asks you, okay, well, what nationality are you? what's going to be your response? Because if you say black, he's going to laugh at you until you get the hell out of my courtroom, dog. Let's keep it 1,000. There's a reason people can cosplay black so easily. Shout out Rachel Dolezal, shout out Drake, shout out Kamala Harris. There's a reason people can cosplay being black when it's beneficial for them, and then when it's also beneficial, then they know what nation they're from. Black isn't like, it doesn't mean anything. Black and white mean the same thing. So anyway, let me word in my mouth. I'm gonna let him, continue to talk, and then I'll interject when necessary.
Go to Boise, Idaho, and then we're gonna get some land, and then we're gonna come together. But understand this: I'm gonna tell y'all something y'all ain't ready for. I'm gonna let y'all in on the secret. Boise, Idaho in January, that shit cold. But it's okay, because we're gonna live off the land, and we're gonna kill some buffalo and use it as hide. Y'all know how it is, nigga. It be the most fake, deep, simplest ass niggas. We got an hour.
I agree. I hate people like that. The Michael Eric Dyson, shout out Michael Eric that used 20 words, to say something that they could have said in 7 or less. Right. Just to sound smart, just to sound overly profound. Right. But that doesn't just exist in Moorish Science temples or Hebrew Israelite temples. And again, if that's the case, like, it exists in churches too. It exists in mosques too. Like, it exists all over the place. It doesn't just exist. And again, he's going to go on. I'll shut up. That he's going to go on to the example he's going to give is in a reparations meeting. Think about the irony.
Hour to speak, and this nigga taking up 50 minutes with cliches. And then you don't get the angry woman that get up there. That's why I had to leave the reparations meeting the last time. I had a good time at the reparations meeting. But it's this, no, what's going to happen is,
again, it's like, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but this is like, again, it's a really slippery slope, because now it almost seems as if you're, again, this archetype, this slur, this stereotype, this persona, this personage that you're building, now you attached it to a black woman. Like, he said angry woman, he didn't say angry black, but it's like, come on.
We need Congressman Davis needs to come down here and be accountable. And when he says he needs to apologize, and when he apologized, you know what he did? My son's teacher, told my son that if you don't go to class on time, you ain't gonna learn. And he'd be like, oh God, what are we doing here? What's going on? We're not gonna get nothing accomplished.
Get nothing accomplished with stereotypes either, bro.
So I'm already knowing if it's an open mic,
Civil War era,
don't go, because 8 out of 10 of the niggas that get on that mic ain't gonna say shit. And the 2 people that do got something substantive to say, they gonna be the only ones that obey the 2-minute time limit. The only people that got something to say are gonna be the only 2 that obey the 2-minute time limit.
Oh, I'm gonna pause it.
The rest of them niggas is gonna talk for 17 minutes about nothing. You gonna get one nigga that come in. See, now, I know we talking about reparations, and I know we talking about getting this school principal expelled because the school principal called this black kid the N-word. What we need to do first is stop calling each other black. We are the freedmen Moors of the Hebrew Israelite society. And if we don't call ourselves freedmen, Moors, Hebrew Israelites, we ain't gonna get them to stop. They're gonna keep calling us nigga, because we are really the Hebrew, Moor, Native American, Indian, Potawatomi, Cherokee, Chickasaw tribes of America. And until we recognize our Hebrew Israelite, Moor, Potawatomi, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Indian tribe freedman status.
Okay, that's all I need. Thanks, Dewan B. All right, so it's okay. And you're not the only one who does this. So I'm not attacking you, my brother. This is an open door for conversation, if anything else. It's not a clout grab. This is not a, hey, I'm trying to reach to, and spur an internet beef, with people who have more subscribers to me. Like, nah, this isn't any of that. B. I'm just curious what we're doing here. Like, don't like look at it from a situation where because you have more followers than me, like, you can't answer a question because that's weak sauce. So I hope you wouldn't take that stance. But like, man to man, like, what are we, like, if none of your subscribers are going to ask you this question, allow me, bro. What are we doing here with the Potawatomi, Freeman Moore, Chickasaw, Cherokee, like what are we doing? Hebrew is like the packaging, like, so you're throwing anyone, and this is just my take. Again, I'm asking a question. I'm seeking clarity. That's all I'm doing. I'm not being messy. I'm seeking clarity. Anyone who seeks to know their ancestry prior to the Civil War era, prior to, the 1860s, prior to, Columbus, they're a whole, like, they get this, we get put in a big disparaging box and get called a Hotep or a conspiracy theorist. That's just really, that's weird. I'm just curious why you guys, like, why you, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, Jason Black are so super gun-ho about we have to call each other black. I don't care what you call yourself, in a conversation. I'm curious why everyone else has to, like, be disrespected in the process. Like, if you want to call yourself black and conversationally, like, that's fine. But like, I won't let, someone, quote unquote, like, I won't, when I'm speaking to someone else, I'm going to make it clear that I know who I am. So like, I don't know. I'm rambling. I don't want to ramble too much. I don't want to talk too much. I want to keep this simple. Again, the book that Kyrie Irving tweeted, From Hebrews to Negroes. Is he a Hotep too? Does he fit in that really disrespectful box that, you just put everybody in? Like, again, if someone wants to call him, identify as a Moor, like, if someone wants to, again, identify with their indigenous tribe, if someone does their ancestry and they find out, a lot of their, ancestry goes back to Ireland, to England, like, what are we doing there? And I'm also, another question I have, this, again, Dwan B, any one of you Black First guys can answer. How come, so if you're a Christian, if you're a quote unquote Black Christian, you're safe. If you're like a quote unquote, Black Muslim, you're safe. But like, if you, come upon the research, the facts would show that we, the indigenous copper-colored tribes of America found here by the Europeans are the Israelites of the Bible. We get labeled a Hotep. I guess the question is, let me be more concise with my wordage. Does Nation of Islam get put in this box too? brothers who, go to jail and come home Muslim, are they called Hoteps too? Like, we on YouTube, I can pull up, maybe I'll do it. Again, I don't want to do this too long, but it's like Malcolm X is, on record saying that Elijah Muhammad, impregnated not one, not two, but like handfuls of like 14, 15-year-old secretaries and got them pregnant and then moved them out of town. Basically, he kept doing the same thing over and over. He said that Elijah Muhammad's son told him this himself. So, like, I'm just curious, what are we doing with that situation? Like, are we doing a thing? Let me do it another way. Let me ask the question another way. Are we doing a thing where Farrakhan is cool? So Nation of Islam, Fruit of Islam, they're safe? Because Fruit of Islam, like Nation of Islam, they'll actually like, see you and address you. Like, if you say something about them in a public forum, like the same way, like people, you guys tiptoe and, I don't hear any slurs when it comes to Jewish people. Like the same way they'll, ADL, they'll sue the hell out of you. Like the Fruit of Islam, Nation of Islam will come see you. I'm just curious, like, is that why, y'all don't mention the whole Elijah Muhammad was a pedophile thing? And is that why y'all still refer to him? Is that why y'all don't, talk about the fact that the Nation of Islam was directly responsible for, assassinating Malcolm X? Them, and they collaborate with the FBI, obviously. But I'm just curious, like, is that why? Is it because they're cool? Is it because Kyrie Irving is cool? Is it because, talking about, it's because, quote unquote, being a Hebrew Israelite, which I hate using that term, but conversationally I'll use it. Is it because they aren't cool enough yet? I'm just like, it's just a really weird level of discernment. Like, go out of our way to not use homophobic slurs, transphobic slurs. If you scroll back earlier in this video and a lot of other videos when he's criticizing, and not just him again, but when in the critique of the Democratic Party, it's like, there's a lot of, again, we have to be really careful with these. What I'm trying to say, these gentlemen are on video, being very careful not to paint with a broad brush, being very careful not to call everyone in the Democratic Party dumb, or everyone who's a member of a Greek fraternity dumb, or everyone who's a part of the LGBTQ community. They go out of their way to like make sure they're respectful. So I'm just curious why, when it comes to this particular Hebrew Israel, or anyone who who wants to know what we were called before we were called Black, why do we get attacked and put in this weird, disrespectful box? But like, I don't know. I'm just really curious what we're doing with that. And you're not the only one. Let me, I want to show real quick, because like I can get, it's really easy to like want to go into a history lesson type situation, and I don't want to do this.
I knew that there would be a great chance that we would win that award, and in essence,
crazy again. That's not what I picked. Okay, you're right. All right, I'll wait for it to catch up. Give me a second, and then yes, about 2:59 this video. Hopefully, fair use, Mr. FD signifier. Again, these are people who will hold their degrees up to the camera and talk about, I went to this college. These are really quote unquote smart, and otherwise intelligent guys, just level-headed, people who profess to see things from a lot of different, just different perspectives, and who understand all different sides. But like, I'm just curious why we're so comfortable slandering our own people. Like, but when it comes to any other culture, we, sidestep you know, tap dance, you know, moonwalk around, you know, we make sure that we call them whatever their, you know, pronouns are. But with us, we're just Hoteps. That's weird to me, but I digress. All right, I'm gonna let it rip.
How big and popular he's been this entire time. But that's what happened. So now what? As I collected my thoughts about this battle, I'm
gonna let it play. Think about how ironic the phrase "as I collected my thoughts" before he's about to say what is. Damn, and I you know, I blew it because Dwan B, if I would have let him talk for a little bit longer, he would have went into something about that's why we have to have compassion, which is crazy work after you just throw a whole group of people, you know, or I'm not saying a whole group of people. Anyone who wants to study their history, you know, prior to, you know, I don't know, Albert Plecker, the 1930s, and him calling, you know, making, you know, calling everybody Negroes. Anyone who wants to study that history before that time period, like he, you know, just no problem. We're Hotep, Freedmen, Moors, Chickasaw, like we're just all along with angry black, like everyone catches strays. Everyone catches straight bullets. Everyone in our community catches straight bullets. Let me stop talking. But after I collected my thoughts, and for him to go on and say what he's about to say is crazy work.
even in the immediate aftermath, me and many others noticed one glaring thing. Drake never called Kendrick a Hotep. Did y'all notice that? Because he doesn't know what a Hotep is. He doesn't know what a Hebrew Israelite is. Do you know?
Okay, so he's clearly calling anyone. So anyone who's a quote unquote Hebrew Israelite is a Hotep. Now look at an example.
Like the weird dudes yelling at white people in the park in any given major city in the country. That's someone who Kendrick Lamar associates with. These dudes from the Eric Andre video.
L. Ron Hubbard is the true God. Black. There's no hell.
There is no. Is that what?
Part of my belief?
This is cringe. There's so much meat to pick at here if you know any better. But Drake.
Okay. There's so many quotes. All right. So if you know any better is against another quotable. That's great. Check this out. Like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to sit here and I don't want to sit here and be too disrespectful or disparaging. I'm really curious. Again, so like a Christian, if you're a black Christian, you're good. If you're a quote unquote black Muslim, you're good. But if you identify yourself as actually being from the tribe of Judah, which we are, well, I'll speak for myself. That makes you a quote unquote Hebrew Israelite. And then he goes on to show you, like, all right, that's a Hebrew Israelite. So that's what a Hotep, like, so that's the definition of a Hotep. All right. It just why, like, another question I have is just like, why are we so willing to like question us and our research of history, but not what our oppressors told us about history? Like, your oppressor is the one who told you to call yourself black. You do know that, right? So I'm just curious, what are we doing with, like, it's weird. I don't need everyone to like I get it. Like, everyone's not going to be interested in as interested in their history as, you know, like I get it. But at the end of the day, we don't need, the entire quote unquote Black community to unite, and, to read the same books, to study the same things, have the same beliefs. But at the end of the day, if you find your tribe and vibe. I can't really be around someone who doesn't for example, prioritize getting, to know themselves, their history, their story, excuse me, not his story, their story, uncovering, digging up their roots. So if that's not a priority to someone else, then I feel like that's where we as a community, we diverge so far apart. And that's where that divide and control comes in and begins to be really effective. Because when you have us attacking us and calling each other Hoteps, and not questioning the legitimacy of their beliefs and what they say, then they win. They win. So there's so much I want to say. Let me do this. Because instead of me running my mouth, I think I'd rather do this instead if my internet will cooperate with me just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. What's going on? Come on. Who are you? Video. There's a video. Don't be weird to me. I swear I'm gonna end this. I just need another. Yeah, here we go. Just give me 1 minute, one more minute of your attention. I appreciate you. Reign of power. The Honorable.
Program. Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro. That's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Powell. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from. No, what was your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then?
It wasn't black.
Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? How did the man, what did the man do to make you as dumb as you are right now?
All right. Reign and power, the Honorable Malcolm X. There's so much I want to say, so much more I can say, but I'm not going to talk after Malcolm. So with that being said, I wish y'all peace, wholeness. I wish us completeness, wholeness, shalom. And anyone who wants to tell you that research beyond a certain year makes you not cool, makes you I don't know. I would stay away from that person. I would say that person is not your tribe. Find your tribe and vibe. Shalom.